last night was talking about Pelosi ripping up the 45's little speech thing right on the podium. It says, coming from Washington, D.C., and then she tore up the speech. No sooner had 45 finished his full of shit State of the Union address, then House Speaker Nancy Pelosi ripped the paper it was printed on in two. Right there on camera, behind 45's back as he stepped down, she ripped again, then a third time, and then a fourth. If 45 knew about the American carnage going on behind him, he didn't react as he left. But Pelosi was on her turf, with a deep understanding of her audience, and she wasn't finished in case any confusion remained. Pelosi held up what remained of the address to her family in the gallery in full view of the reporters. It was a manifesto of lies, Pelosi told reporters as she left the Capitol. The ripping was not planned, according to a person close to the Democratic Speaker who was unauthorized to speak publicly. Representative Carolyn Maloney, who's a Democrat from New York, said on Wednesday that Pelosi told House Democrats in a private morning, tweeting that the 45 shredded the truth, and she shredded the speech because it was filled with full of shit lies. Republicans dismissed her display on the eve of 45's acquittal in the Senate and featuring the trial as a tantrum, which it wasn't. Vice Squatter inbred redneck Mike Pence, who sat to Pelosi's right during the speech, said Wednesday that he did not see when she tore up the speech. He joined fellow Republicans in criticizing her behavior. I found out just a few moments later, and I think it was a new low, he said Wednesday on Foe. I wasn't sure if she was ripping up the speech or ripping up the Constitution. Pence accused Pelosi of trying to make the evening about her, and I think the American people saw right through it. 45 campaign spokesperson Tim Murtaugh said Tuesday night that Pelosi might as well rip up any plans for attracting independent voters. Republican Representative Steve Scalise of Louisiana added in a tweet one Tuesday, "This speech was about American heroes and American workers. She decided that was worth literally tearing apart. And technically 45 doesn't care about the American workers, and he doesn't care about the heroes or anybody like that." Tearing the speech up gave Pelosi the last visual word over 45, who had spoken to the House from a position of strength, which all he ever does is shows weakness. He arrived in the chamber with the full force of the Republican Party. She is leading a party in the throes of a divisive squatterall nomination fight that had botched the kickoff Iowa caucuses only the night before. The House had impeached 45 on her watch, but the Senate was poised to acquit him. From the start, the event was awkward because the history between those two was so icy. They had not spoken since October, when Pelosi pointed at 45 over a White House conference table, suggested that Russia controls him, and walked out. Now 45 was returning to the very chamber where he was impeached, standing before the same Democrats who have called him unfit for office and sought to oust him. Well, technically he is unfit. He stepped to the podium and handed navy blue folders containing his speech to Pelosi and the inbred vice squatter Mike Pence. Photos show that 45 mistakenly handed Pence's copy to Pelosi. The outside reads in gold letters, "The squatter of the United States." That's Pence's title. At that moment, Pelosi extended a hand. 45 did not acknowledge it, instead turning around to begin his speech. Pelosi, famous for casting shade, especially on 45, gave a glaring look. For 78 minutes, 45 extolled a great American comeback, which we knew was full of shit just 3 years after he took office, decrying a land of American carnage under his predecessor. Pelosi read through the copy as he spoke. And 45 bestowed the Medal of Freedom on Rush Lumpdick to raucous applause and a glum reception from the House Democrats. For one, I don't even know why he's giving that medal to Rush Limbaugh when Rush Limbaugh is a fucking arrogant prick who doesn't do shit. My fellow Americans, the best is yet to come, which really isn't. The worst is yet to come is what he should have said. Pelosi had already gathered the papers for her big ripping finish, which she later said was the courteous thing to do, considering that he basically lied his ass off throughout this whole State of the Union address. The moment was a less joyful echo of last year's State of the Union, when Pelosi stole stole the show with a smirk and clap eye to eye with 45. The Democrats were triumphant after election gains that flipped the House from Republican-controlled and put Pelosi back in the Speaker's chair. That night, Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez arrived on the scene wearing a white caped pantsuit and sat prominently at the center of the Democratic select section. Tuesday night, on the eve of 45's acquittal, the Congresswoman skipped the speech altogether. After much deliberation, I decided that I would not use my presence at a state ceremony to normalize 45's lawless conduct and subversion of the Constitution. Ocasio-Cortez tweeted a few hours before the speech. None of this was normal, and I would not legitimize it.